What's up, guys? Hopefully all of you are doing well. If you're not, you're about to be. Today we're going to be making some Slutty Cheesecake Brownies. Yes, it has a questionable name, but that is what they're called because these cheesecake brownies are doing way too much. Let's get going on the brownie mix first. So we have 2 eggs down in the stand mixer, and I have a 1/4 cup of brown sugar and a 1/2 cup of white sugar. And we're just going to blend that together. Next, I'm just going to go ahead and add my vanilla extract, the melted butter, and some cream cheese. Why not? Since we have a cream cheese top, I decided to go ahead and put a little cream cheese in those brownies to give them some extra moisture. For the exact measurements to this recipe, check out gdseasoning.com. The link will be below in the description. Now, as far as the dry ingredients, we have flour, cocoa powder, a little bit of espresso, baking powder, and some salt. Real easy. This is not a temperamental brownie mix at all. Once we're done sifting all of the dry ingredients, we're going to slowly add it to the wet ingredients while we blend. You can also use a hand mixer, but go ahead and mix it just until the batter comes together. Do not overmix your brownie batter. For this recipe, I'm going to be using an 8x8 baking dish. You can get away with a 9x9 if that's what you have. I lightly buttered, or you can spray the dish itself, and then I took 2 pieces of parchment paper and crisscrossed them, gave them a good spray, and that's going to help me lift the cheesecake brownies right out of the dish. Now all we're going to do is just pour our brownie mix right into the dish and spread it out evenly. Alright, our brownie layer is done. We're just going to bake it at 350 degrees for 15 minutes. In the meantime, let's get going on that cheesecake batter. In the stand mixer, I have a pound of room temperature cream cheese that I'm going to add some sugar to, only a 1/2 cup. We're going to add some vanilla extract. I'm also going to add a little bit of salt and 2 eggs. That's it. This cheesecake layer is really simple, easy, and to the point. One of the things I discovered making this recipe over and over is that these desserts served on their own are rich and decadent within themselves, but to slam them together, they have to be done with some sort of finesse. So that's why some of the sugar is pulled back to make allowances for some of the other sugar in the other desserts. You understand what I'm saying? You'll see. What I'm doing here now is just taking my spatula and making sure all of my cream cheese batter is mixed in very well, and we're going to take those brownies out of the oven. This brownie layer is nowhere near set, but that's what we want. We're going to move on and place all of our Oreo cookies right on the top of that. And we're going to cover the Oreos with the cheesecake batter. Make sure you don't dump all of the cheesecake batter right in the center of the Oreos. What you're going to do is move that brownie batter on the bottom. So make sure you do it in a zigzag pattern, and then take your time with a spatula and spread the cheesecake batter over the Oreos very neat. Finally, we're just going to take 8 to 10 chopped Oreos and put them right on top of the cheesecake batter, and we're going to continue to bake it at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes, just until the cheesecake layer is set. Then we're going to let it cool to room temperature for 2.5 to 3 hours, and then refrigerate it for 6 to 8 hours. So this is an overnight situation. And we're just going to take it out. See how that parchment paper made it easy for me to lift it right out? And then I was feeling a little extra. I went on and made a white chocolate ganache. You can make any ganache you want or none at all. I just wanted to drizzle it over the top, give it a nice flair, and then you can cut them up and serve them. Here's the deal with cutting these. You want to make sure you clean the knife every time you cut it so your cuts will be clean. I remember that right there. I'm like, oh, let me clean my knife and come back. Because if you just keep cutting them, the brownie layer is going to get stuck to the cheesecake layer and your cuts won't be clean. So take a look at that. See how the cuts are nice and clean, and you can see all the layers: the Oreo cookie, the brownie, the cheesecake, the chocolate on top. It's just decadence at its best. Now, for kicks and giggles, I had some extra white chocolate left. I decided to make another batch of these brownies, or these cheesecake brownies, and decided to bake them still at the same temperature for 38 minutes without any Oreos on top. The steps are still the same. You need to let it cool for 2.5 to 3 hours. And I took my leftover white chocolate and poured it over the cooled cheesecake batter right on top, spreaded that around evenly, and then I put Oreos on top of that. And then I put it in the refrigerator for 6 to 8 hours. Man, let me tell you, now that right there is rich. These were so rich, I decided to cut them into 12 pieces instead of 9. When you cut them with the knife, you can hear the snap of the chocolate topping, and the brownie is moist. But I'm telling you, it is a little sweeter because we use more white chocolate. If you want to, you can also make a semi-sweet chocolate ganache. Remember to try to serve these as close to room temperature as possible. That way your brownie will have a nice chew to it against that creamy cheesecake. Thank you guys so much for cooking with me and hanging out. You know I appreciate it. Don't forget this recipe and others can be found at gdseasoning.com. And I'll see you guys next time.